The wind whipped the Houston Power Tower sideways as the midnight storm slammed into the industrial district, rain hammering the tin-roofed garage of the Iron Saints MC like a relentless drumbeat. Inside, yellow lights glowed over half-dismantled Harleys, the clank of wrenches, rock music, and the low rumble of men's voices blending into the familiar pulse of a late night. Then, knock, 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 3 taps, not loud, not forceful but utterly out of place for a biker garage nearing midnight. So wrong that every hand stopped mid-motion. Grim Dalton whipped his head around instantly. The instincts of a hardened man made him wary of anything offbeat. He strode over, hit the button. The garage door rolled up, letting in the cold wind and rain mist, and under the yellow glow a small figure appeared. AALIYAH King, a black girl about 7 years old, hair plastered wet to her face, clothes caked in mud, a fresh bruise blooming on her cheek like she'd been slapped hard. She clutched a frayed pink blanket to her chest like it was the only safe thing left. Her big eyes, brimming with tears, stared up at the group of men, faces weathered by life that the neighborhood still turned to in trouble. Her voice cracked out, trembling like it had never been spoken aloud. They killed my mama." The garage went dead silent. Not from fear, but because those words cut through the storm, hitting the softest spot in the hearts of men who'd faced down life's worst. And they knew this little girl had just laid the rest of her life at their doorstep. Grim Dalton stepped forward like his legs were moving on their own. No thought required. Him, the man all of Houston's East End knew for his iron will, for never backing down from any force, froze completely as he bent down to the tiny face at the garage door. The bruise on Aaliyah's cheek choked his breath in his throat. Not anger, something deeper, stabbing straight into a scar that never healed. In that moment, the storm outside yanked him back 3 decades to 8-year-old Grim, hiding behind a door, watching his mom beaten until she stopped moving, watching cop boots step in too late, spitting cold words that any kid could understand meant no one was really coming to help. Then the boy dragged from home, dumped into foster care where violence was everyone's language. Grim blinked, snapping back to the thunder crashing now, his shoulders heaving like he had to remind himself this was today, not then. He crouched lower, his massive hands gently lifting Aaliyah into his arms like she might shatter if he squeezed a fraction harder. Behind him, murmurs rose, not malicious, just the real fear of men who knew how the world worked. Damn, this is big. Black kid? Cops show up. We're the first ones scrutinized. We don't know shit about kids. Every word died when Grim turned, his eyes sliced like a blade. Shut it, he said low, but clear enough for all. She's hurt. He turned back to the girl, voice dropping to a softness no one in the club had ever heard. What's your name? Aaliyah. Who hurt you? She trembled, fingers clutching the tattered pink blanket. They killed Mama. I saw. Grim bowed his head, forehead nearly touching her wet hair, and whispered something he rarely said to anyone. I'm sorry. Then he stood tall, cradling her close to his chest, eyes sweeping his brother's like a blood-written order. Bring her inside. She stays with us. I don't care who's coming. No biker argued. They just exchanged looks, knowing what Grim really meant. From this second, Iron Saints MC was dragged into a war no one could walk away from. In the small office behind the garage, desk lamp light shone on walls plastered with license plates. The faint smell of motor oil mixing with antiseptic as Doc Harris, the man who'd patched countless lives, knelt by the sofa where Aaliyah huddled. He touched the bruise on her cheek lightly, brows furrowing like someone had squeezed his heart. Not a fall, Doc said in his even tone of someone who'd seen too much pain. Adult handprint. The room tightened. Grim laid a hand on Aaliyah's shoulder, waiting for her breathing to steady before asking, Can you tell me what happened to your mom? Aaliyah swallowed, eyes on the torn pink blanket, then started, words halting like each one stabbed her. Mom worked the night shift at a laundromat on Jensen Drive in 5th Ward. Tonight, closing up, she heard arguing in the alley. She pulled the girl against the wall and peeking through the back door crack saw something bad. No words for it, just grown-up stuff you're not supposed to see. A man pushed to the ground, gun pointed down. Aaliyah looked up, voice shaking. I saw a cop. His uniform like the ones at school, but no name tag. The room weighed like a boulder dropped. One biker muttered, off the books cop. This ain't good. She went on. A guy laughing, gold teeth flashing under the laundromat light, and another with a big tattoo on his neck, a halo slashed in half by a diagonal line like a cut. They call him Halo Cross, she said, recalling someone yelling it in the chaos. Mom yanked her to run, but out on the main road they were spotted. Mom shoved her behind a dumpster, said no crying, no noise. Then, she heard the shots. Didn't want to say more, didn't need to. The men in the room got it. Doc put a hand on Grim's shoulder, eyes sad as ever but laced with barely hidden rage. Kids telling the truth. What she described matches rumors from the last few months. Another biker. Halo Cross is a big crew. They run half of 5th Ward. A third, if dirty cops are in, this doesn't end easy. The words wove a picture everyone dreaded facing. Finally, Grim raised a hand for silence. His eyes held no hesitation. We protect her first. His voice wasn't loud but carried the weight of a man who'd pulled his life over too many edges. Tomorrow for the rest. Right now the kid's safe. Bikers nodded. No pushback. Outside the room, Grim's two most loyal Torque and Ghost slipped out to scout. A loop through the lot around the opposite warehouse. Nothing but rain-pounding concrete. But turning behind the containers, Ghost froze. 2 blocks away, headlights of a black SUV sat still like darkness was part of its body. Engine idling. Front windows tinted pitch black. Not moving, just aimed at the Iron Saint's garage. Torque gritted his teeth. They're hunting the kid already, Ghost whispered. We got very little time before they try again. The two slipped back quietly, ready to report to Grim that tonight was just the start. The night dragged on endlessly as Iron Saints brought AALIYAH into the small back office. Yellow light washing over old plates and long ride maps. Doc Harris knelt by the sofa, his aged but steady hands checking the bruise on her cheek. Each light touch darkened his usually stoic face, like he was seeing pain he'd witnessed too often, the hurt of the vulnerable. Not a fall, he said softly, voice gravelly from smokes. Someone grabbed the kid's face. The words choked the room. AALIYAH curled under a blanket still smelling of laundry detergent, eyes full of rain and tears. Grim sat beside her, breath heavy and slow. Can you tell me what happened? He asked, softer than even he expected. AALIYAH pressed her lips, then spilled in fragments. Mom's night shift at the 5th Ward laundromat. Closing time. Arguing in the back alley. They hid behind crates. Through the door slit. 3 men around, one kneeling. One in HPD uniform. No name tag. Another grinning, wide gold teeth gleaming. The third with a halo cross tattoo. A circle slashed in half. Running from neck to shoulder. Mama told me to run. AALIYAH said, choking up. But they saw us. She pushed me. Told me don't make a sound. Then she clapped hands over ears, like the gunshots still echoed in her head. No one in the room pushed for more. They knew exactly what went down. Outside, bikers whispered arguments. Dirty cop for sure. Halo Cross runs half of 5. If they're tracking the kid, we gotta prep. Grim just raised a hand. Silence snapped back. We protect her first, he said, voice like Rolling Stone. Tomorrow for the rest. No objections. As AALIYAH started dozing, Grim sat watch, but she jolted awake, panicked. She snatched the tattered pink blanket, breath ragged like cornered. Grim reached out, voice gentle. You're safe here. No one's hurting you. He found an old comic on the shelf, opened it, and read in his gravelly, slow drawl, like each word built a bridge to a less scary world. Gradually AALIYAH relaxed, her tiny hand grabbing 3 of his fingers and holding tight. Through the glass door, the big bikers who only knew roaring on highways stood like awkward statues. They had no clue what to do with a scared kid. But one by one, they brought what they thought might help. Snake set a bag of cookies and granola bars by the door, then avoided eyes like caught being kind. Bulldog brought in a gray hoodie, folded neat on the chair, for warmth. Wrench pulled a ratty teddy bear from his trunk, one eye stitched back, once his daughter's. He set it on the table, hand shaking a bit. He don't use it no more. Erica came in with warm milk and a soft cream blanket to help her sleep. Seeing the pile, AALIYAH peered through the glass at the big men pretending casual but all eyeing her with unguarded worry. Why are they doing that? She whispered. Grim glanced out, corner of his mouth twitching into a rare half smile. They ain't good with words, he said. But they're good people. That's their way. After a few sips of milk, AALIYAH sat up, curious at the bikers huddled outside. Grim asked, "Want to hear their stories?" She nodded, hugging the new bear tight. So the tales began. Ghost, the quietest, told of a night in Middle East war zones meeting a boy who'd lost his mom and the helplessness of leaving on orders. Torque shared growing up in a violent home, bolting to the streets at 13 and vowing never to let the strong hurt the weak near him. Snake recalled starving kids on delivery runs, and the first time he got that saving someone could be as simple as a meal. Each story a scar, but proof goodness never died in these men. AALIYAH listened rapt, then hesitated. Are you bad men? The question froze everything. Grim dropped to her eye level, elbows on knees. We look rough, he said straight. Outsiders might not get us, but we don't hurt kids. Ever. And here you're safe. AALIYAH stared long, then she scooted closer, leaning her head on his massive arm, hugging the bear one-handed. Grim said nothing, but his eyes softened clear. In that moment, All Iron Saints knew, amid Houston's rainy night, the first seed of trust had sprouted, and when a kid trusted them, Iron Saints would never let anyone touch it again. The rain outside shifted rhythms like someone commanding the sky, wind howling in gusts that rattled the tin roof of Iron Saint's garage. AALIYAH finally sank into deeper sleep, clutching wrenches bare and curled in Erica's extra blanket. Grim stood by the office door, hand light on the knob like he'd bolt in if she stirred. Through the glass, bikers spread into a natural guard formation. No orders, no talk, just protective instincts slotting them where needed. Snake under the small awning, cigarette unlit in his mouth. Ghost double-checking back locks. Bulldog shifting crates to block blind spots by the oil drums. No loud words. No one wanted to wake her. A strange, peaceful moment, fragile but beautiful enough to hush men who'd ridden through life's storms. Then flop, a sharp metallic snap from the left garage side. Then crash, like glass exploding. Grim reacted before Snake could turn. Down, Bulldog yelled, shoving wrench into the corner. Something glowing rolled spinning on the concrete, then erupted in bright orange-yellow flames, gasoline whooshing like a demon's scream. Molotov. Fumes hit noses hard. Fire licked at tires on the lift. Erica screamed. Kill the lights. Snake slammed the breaker. Whole garage plunged into emergency red glow. Doc burst in, grabbing the extinguisher, pumping twice, white foam blanketing the blaze like snow. Flames died, leaving black smoke curling from scorched concrete. Grim charged the front door before anyone could stop him. Wind blasted his leather jacket, but what halted him wasn't the gust. It was fresh spray paint dripping down the garage door, still warm from the rushed job, blood red, ghastly vivid, a halo slashed by a diagonal knife-like line, the crossed halo symbol dead center. Below, hasty scrawled letters, sloppy but screaming in your face, turn the girl in, or burn. No need to ask what they wanted. A blatant message, no hiding, no fear of witnesses. They demanded Iron Saint's hand over AALIYAH. These assholes for real. Snake spat, breath still reeking of gas. Torque ran up, face paling at the words. Halo cross legit. Ghost nodded, voice low like distant thunder. That halo strokes their style, and the threat. Classic. Erica clung to Doc's arm. They know she's here. No answers. Because everyone knew. If they knew, no backing out. Grim stood before the still warm door, red light casting half his face in steel-jawed shadow. He said nothing for seconds, but Grim's silence was never ordinary. It was build-up, calculation, thunder brewing. Doc broke it first, gravelly. They want to silence the kid. These crews clean witnesses in 48 hours, no exceptions. Snake ground teeth. Molotov at our place, starting the party early. Torque punched the wall. Just let me know who threw that bottle. Grim raised a hand. Torque shut up. He glanced back to the office where AALIYAH slept, blanket pulled to her chin like warding off cold, or the world. When Grim faced them again, his eyes had shifted. No longer the steady community guardian. This was the gaze of a man who'd lost too much, vowing no kid would walk his dark path. Somebody, Grim said slow, pinning each word like anchors, thinks Iron Saint scares easy, thinks we'll ditch a kid for them to erase. He stepped closer to the door, finger tracing the half-dry threat. They want me to hand her over to wipe the slate. No replies. None needed. They all waited for Grim's next, and it came. They want war? Grim asked, eyes closing a beat, then snapping open cold steel. We'll give them truth first. From anyone else it'd be bluster. From Grim, a blood oath. Instantly the garage flipped from attack to counterstrike. Ghost and Torque scouted escape routes, hunting wet tire tracks. Snake cleared the burn zone to kill lingering gas risks. Doc checked on AALIYAH, ensuring noise didn't reach her. Erica double-chained the front, wedging metal bars behind. Bulldog searched corners for more tossed threats. As the crew moved, Grim stood stock still at the door, eyes locked on the red-crossed halo. Rain slapped his jacket, cold seeping in, but inside him burned different heat, the fire of standing shield for the weaker, no matter the foe. Snake reported back. Boss, they're gone. Headed highway, black SUV, taillights dim, probably daily rental. Grim nodded, face stone, testing our reaction first round. Torque smirked cold, wrong crew to test. Grim turned to the office, peering through glass at AALIYAH sleeping innocent. He drew a deep breath, then said just loud enough for all. From now, no outsider gets near the kid. Eyes on her always. No doors unlocked. Off-duty guards. On-duty rotates in teams. Nobody solo. He paused, voice dropping to a seal. She lost her mom tonight. You know how bad that hits. And I swear, no more kids running in the rain scared for their lives. The air thickened, then exploded into pure resolve. Iron Saints, forever misunderstood by society, now united like family. When Grimm said, "We'll give them truth first," he wasn't just declaring fight. He was vowing to expose the killers and shield the smallest witness they'd ever had. The storm outside still raged, but in the garage, the real storm had formed. And this time, it was in the hands of men who knew damn well, tonight wasn't just an attack, this was a declaration of war. Dawn hadn't broken yet, but Houston's sky hung thick like it had been smoked over, the night storm leaving behind wet earth smell, burnt gas fumes, and a weird emptiness cloaking the Iron Saints garage. After the Molotov hit, nobody slept. Some stood watch at doors, others hunted clues, a few scrubbed the charred wall. Only Aaliyah, the kid who'd lost her mom last night, got to keep sleeping, and the whole crew of rough men rotated to make sure no sound jolted her awake. When Grimm eased the office door open to check, Aaliyah was already up, staring out the foggy glass, her face still puffy from crying, but eyes sharp in a way no 7-year-old should have. "I can't sleep more," she whispered. Grimm dragged a chair beside the sofa and sat. "That's okay. I ain't slept either." Aaliyah clutched the pink blanket tight, her gaze flipping between fear and grit. She'd seen way too much no kid should. And Grimm knew that look when pain's too big for words, the body finds another way out. He turned, pulled a stack of blank paper and a box of colored pencils from the drawer, leftovers Erica used for Christmas lunchroom decorations. He set them on the table. "Try drawing for me, whatever you remember." Aaliyah hesitated. I don't draw good." "Don't need good," Grimm said. "Just real." She sat up, little feet dangling off the sofa, hands shaking as she grabbed the black pencil. The bikers outside the glass didn't dare step in, just watched quiet like it was something sacred they didn't want to break. Each had their own look, Snake leaning on the wall, Torque arms crossed like holding himself still, Ghost farthest back but eyes locked hardest. Aaliyah bowed her head and started. First, the tattoo. No thinking needed. Lines sharp, clean, dead on, like she was tracing a photo, not memory. A perfect halo circle, slashed clean in half by a long diagonal blade line running top to bottom. She shaded around it dark, added prison-style tattoo hatching no 7-year-old should know. Torque stepped closer, face tightening. That's it. Halo cross style. Neck tat, old-school prison shading. Doc exhaled hard. How the hell does she remember that clear? Aaliyah didn't hear the talk. She switched to the vehicle. Black SUV, windows tinted dark. Body plain like the kind used for quiet jobs. She even sketched the offset taillight cluster and a scratch on the left rear door. Then she wrote 6 plate numbers, one crossed out, rewritten close. Ghost leaned in. She remembers this much. Grimm didn't answer. He just watched the kid draw with trembling hands but steady strokes, non-stop. Finally, Aaliyah drew the cop uniform guy, just deep blue, then a blank patch on the left chest, where the name tag should have been. "He didn't have this," she said, circling the empty spot. The room went dead still. A kid who just watched her mom get shot, remembered a dirty cop down to the last detail. Stuff adults panic and forget. "Anything else you remember?" Grimm asked, voice soft as breeze. Aaliyah dropped the pencil, tiny hand on the slashed halo drawing. "This one laughed. Laughed when Mama pulled me to run, his teeth shiny, like gold." Snake blurted, "Gold tusk." Torque nodded hard, dead on. "That bastard's been lurking 5th Ward for months." Aaliyah kept going. "They said, 'Let me handle her.' Then Mama shoved me behind the dumpster. I heard the shots. Then quiet." She wiped her eyes, fighting tears. Doc turned away, lips tight. This hit him too hard. Grimm laid a hand on Aaliyah's shoulder. "You drew real good. Thanks to you we know more than anyone could tell us." She stared at the pictures, lips trembling. "I don't want Mama forgotten. Nobody's forgetting," Grimm said, voice low enough the guys outside heard clear. "And we ain't letting this slide." Aaliyah took a deep breath, then added details. The alley behind the laundromat, flickering busted light, trash pile, peeling sign. Lines weren't perfect, but everything sat exactly where it belonged, like a security cam. Ghost eyed the sketch. "Kids recreating the scene more accurate than an HPD report." Torque added, "And the plate off by 1 digit, probably fake plates. But she remembers the pattern. Snake cut in, we can trace it backward. Grim nodded quiet. He didn't say it out loud, but everyone knew he'd just locked a key piece in his head. AALIYAH drew a third time, the gold-toothed man's portrait. Teeth gleaming, long face, receding hairline, black jacket, smile curved like a blade. Torque snorted. That's him. Gold tusk. Heavy hitter for hire. AALIYAH set the pencil down, hands shaking from exhaustion and memory pain. Grim gathered the pages, stacking them like a soldier collecting battlefield evidence. He studied every line, every mark, and saw it clear what she carried in her head was more dangerous than any physical proof. And that's why the Molotov wasn't a warning, it was a witness cleanup attempt. When Grim set the last page on the table, a spine-chilling truth hit. She didn't just see the killers, she could rebuild the whole crime in pictures. And if she could do that, anyone tied to Marsha King's murder would never let her live another day. Grim, Erica whispered behind him. This kid, she's the key. Yeah, Grim said, eyes still on the papers. Key to cracking this whole thing. And they know it. Snake glanced around, voice low. If they know she remembers this much, they'll come again. Grim folded the last sheet, locked them in a metal box. He stood tall, shadow stretching long on the damp concrete. Then he said, voice low and solid like an engine warming up. We get one step ahead. AALIYAH grabbed Grim's shirt, eyes worried. Uncle Grim, can I help more? Grim crouched, touching her damp curls. You already helped more than anyone could in your shoes. Now it's our turn. AALIYAH nodded, then leaned her head into his hand like asking him to shield her from the whole world. And when Grim stood and looked at his brothers' faces, Ghost, Torque, Snake, Bulldog, Doc, everyone got it. AALIYAH wasn't just a witness anymore, not just an innocent kid needing help. She was the only one who knew enough to blow the whole Fifth Ward crime network wide open. And because of that, she was the target. Grim eyed the garage door where the red "turn the girl in" or "burn" had faded half away in the night rain. He said, gear up boys, this ain't stopping at a Molotov. Ghost asked, where first? Grim opened the metal box, held up the crossed halo tattoo page. To drag these bastards into the light, he answered. We start with the gold smile son of a bitch. Then he looked down at AALIYAH, hugging her bare, but eyes no longer scared like last night. She had trust now, trust in them. And like every true biker knows, that trust is the one thing you never betray. Houston's pre-dawn sky stayed gunmetal gray, thin fog smearing the south side streets so streetlights looked like bleeding halos. As Grim locked AALIYAH's drawings in the metal box, Torque and Ghost caught the hint in his last words, hunt the gold-toothed bastard. 10 minutes later, 2 Harleys roared out the garage, engines growling like a warning shot. Iron Saints were in the game. They headed for Old Spanish Trail where no signpost dared list what went down at night, where darkness had eyes and ears, where everyone was hiding something. Morning wind cut skin deep, but it didn't cool the fire in Torque. The gold-toothed fucker. Gold Tusk. The one who laughed while gunning down a mother in front of her 7-year-old. Ghost rode beside him, eyes scanning every side street, mapping turns in his head like a man who'd lived long enough in shadows to know when they moved. At the abandoned motel strip on Old Spanish Trail, they throttled down. This was where low-level dealers posted up, where info cost the right person, the right tone, the right timing. Torque stepped off, cracking knuckles like reminding himself not to ask too hard too soon. They found the dealer Lil Dre, small guy, eyes always darting like chasing his next fix. Dre saw the 2 Harleys pull up, one gloss black, one ghost decaled, and went ash gray. Yo, I ain't do nothing, man, he backed up. Torque took one step. We know, but you seen this guy? He held out the gold tusk portrait sketch. Dre glanced once and shook like a leaf. Nah, hell nah, I don't talk about him. Man's a demon walking, bro. Ghost leaned on his seat, head tilted. When a rat like you is scared means he's real dangerous. Torque shrugged. Talk, Dre, or we let Gold Tusk know you hesitated. Dre froze, sucked air, then clutched his own collar like the wind might make him spill. Okay. Gold Tusk ain't no street punk. He's hired muscle. Halo Cross pays per job, and those jobs people disappear. Torque eyed Ghost, then pressed, and the dirty cop. No name tag. Dre's left eye twitched. Tell of a cornered liar. That's Sergeant Knox. Bradley Knox. HPD. He gives Gold Tusk free passes. Green lights their business in Fifth Ward. Ghost straightened, eyes sharpening. Sergeant Knox. Night Division. Dre nodded fast. Yeah, he's behind a lot of vanishings. Pretty much owns half the ward. Torque gripped the rotted wood table till it cracked. And he's the HPD uniform from last night. Dre shook like he might cry. I swear he always hides the tag. Does it for every dirty job. Ghost and Torque swapped looks. Two major pieces just clicked. Gold Tusk the trigger. Sergeant Knox the shield. AALIYAH, the only witness who could ID both before Torque could push further. Ghost's head snapped up at tires crunching gravel behind. A second later, the motel's back door burst open. 3 armed goons poured in, guns under jackets. They tailed us, Ghost whispered. No, they tailed Dre, Torque answered, gripping a long wooden club like an extra arm. First guy charged. Ghost vanished from sight, reappeared behind him like his namesake, silent choke dropping the thug. Second pulled a point. 3-8 Torque stormed in like steel thunder, forearm smashing the wrist. Gun clattered. Then Torque spun, shoulder checked the guy into the wall. The last panicked, raised his piece for a headshot. Ghost's precision kick sent it sliding across the floor. Halo Cross send you? Torque growled. The guy gritted teeth. No answer. But his eyes said enough. They came to silence Dre, and anyone who saw them. Ghost turned to Dre. They want you dead. You were right. Gold Tusk is a walking demon. Dre collapsed to the floor, hands overhead, sobbing. Man, I told y'all everything. Don't let him kill me. Torque shoved the face-down thug aside, crouched to Dre's level. You live, if you disappear. By sunrise your face ain't in this ward no more. Dre bolted, tripping twice but scrambling up. As he vanished into the dark, Ghost said to Torque, "Can't stay another second." Torque nodded. "Let's roll." They walked the Harleys out the back lot, but as they fired up, a shot cracked from the alley. Instinct, Torque yanked Ghost behind a steel dumpster, bullet buried in the wall where their heads had been. "Sniper?" Torque asked. Ghost shook head. "Nah, just a scare." Torque peered down the alley. A black jacket figure climbing into an SUV, peeling out. "Gold Tusk?" Ghost asked. "No," Torque said. "But same team. They gunned it, leaving Old Spanish Trail faster than any law allows." When the two Harleys rolled back into the garage, sky was steel dawn dim. Grim waited at the door, arms crossed, face carved from stone. Torque stepped off first, dropping intel like battlefield coordinates. 2 names, Gold Tusk and Sergeant Bradley Knox. Ghost added, "Knox is real HPD, provides cover. Gold Tusk is the hired killer." They locked down 5th Ward. No one in Iron Saints spoke, but the air swelled like it might explode. Grim stood silent a few beats, eyes staring past the garage, through lingering raindrops, into wherever human-shaped monsters hid behind badges. Then he spoke lower than thunder. "So they just signed their own damn warrant." He glanced toward the office where AALIYAH slept hugging her bear, unaware the 2 names just spoken were the shadows that stole her sky. Grim continued, each word steel sharp, "And Iron Saints is gonna rip the curtain they're hiding behind wide open." The intel from Torque and Ghost hadn't even cooled when rapid knocking hit the front garage door. Not random, but the distinct rhythm of someone used to entering homes with search warrants. Snake looked at Grim, raised a brow. "HPD?" Grim shook his head slow and serious. "Nah, that knock feds."
Yes.
When the door rolled up, late morning light spilled in with a woman in a navy blazer, hair in a low ponytail, eyes cold but weary from chasing something long in the dark. Agent Lauren Mitchell, FBI. She flashed her badge but no Iron Saint moved. Ghost leaned on the wall, hand near the knife in his belt. Torque arms crossed, jaw ticking. Erica stood blocking AALIYAH's office door like a lioness. Mitchell scanned each face, stopped on Grim. "You Grim Dalton? Who's asking?" Grim answered, voice like hot metal quenched in water. Mitchell didn't flinch at the edge. She stepped inside, eyeing the charred Molotov wall, lingering smoke smell. "I know this area. I know you, and I know who threw this." She pointed at the crossed halo paint streak. "Halo Cross is lighting up the whole city." Torque gave a cold laugh. "Good luck. HPD dodges him like the plague." Mitchell shot him a look. "Not all HPD is dirty." Ghost cut in. "But the one you're investigating is Sergeant Bradley Knox." Mitchell froze half a second. Just half. But enough for the garage to know. She knew the name, and feared it. "Knox has been an FBI target for 6 months, Mitchell said, voice lower. "Undercover says he's colluding with 5th Ward gangs, but we lack hard proof." Grim clenched fists, knuckles cracking. "Now you got it." Mitchell locked eyes with him. "You have the girl, the witness. She saw the execution behind the laundromat. The room rippled. Snake muttered. Word travels fast. Mitchell answered quick. Not from HPD. I know because it matches a surveillance file we're tracking. A mother killed for seeing what she shouldn't. A little girl escapes. An SUV with fake plates. An HPD officer off duty. Grimm stepped forward like a boulder about to drop. Aaliyah ain't intel. She's a person. Mitchell didn't back down. Exactly. That's why I'm here to protect her. Snake barked. Protect. You. Torque spat on the floor. Try it. Mitchell looked at each face, men who trusted no badge, no system, no protector who'd ever betrayed them. She sighed, dropped the shield voice. You think I don't get it? I know what it's like chasing bad guys while your own partner might be one. I know not knowing who to trust. 6 years FBI. 6 years taught me some places the government can't reach. She swept the garage. But you can. Ghost shifted stance. Voice still razor. What do you want? Mitchell answered fast. Information. And cooperation. The garage erupted in thunder laughs. Mitchell didn't crack a smile. I know you don't trust me. I know you got your own code. But hear this. Knox doesn't just cover for Gold Tusk. He orchestrates. He erases tracks. And he's hunting the kid. Erica gripped Aaliyah's doorframe. Eyes blazing. You think we don't know that? Mitchell shook head. I'm telling you what I know for sure. Knox isn't solo. He's the linchpin. Take him down. Halo crosses, whole Fifth Ward network collapses. Grimm studied Mitchell like sizing up if she lived by rules or truth. Finally he asked, what do you want from me? Mitchell answered without blinking. I want to see Aaliyah. Garage surged again. Snake stepped up. No, absolutely not. Ghost cut in. You walk in there. You bring FBI heat. The dirty ones will know instantly. Mitchell tightened her bag strap, staying calm. No recording, no photos, no file. I just need to confirm she's alive, to know how much time before Knox comes. Grimm straightened, shoulders wide enough to block her view. Nobody gets near the kid without my say. Mitchell looked up, dark brown eyes, not challenging but acknowledging. I know, she said. You're doing the right thing. I'm not here to take her from you. She stepped closer, voice dropping to real person Grimm. Dalton. I know your file. I know you lost your mom to domestic violence. I know you grew up in foster care. I know you don't trust the law, because the law turned its back on you. Air stopped breathing. Ghost shifted. Torque glanced at Grimm for reaction. Grimm didn't flinch, but something stalled behind his steel eyes. Memory. Darkness. Old pain. Mitchell didn't push, just continued. But because of that past, you see what cops, committees, even courts miss. Aaliyah can't lose anything else, and you'll protect her at all costs. Garage went pin drop silent. Mitchell turned her palm up. I'm not asking instant trust, but trust this. Knox is our target. You help me, I help you. She never stands alone. She never falls into a system he's already rotted. She locked eyes with Grimm, voice rising. Aaliyah deserves better. Simple words but dead on. Right moment. Grimm stared at Mitchell long enough to measure her guts, long enough to know she wasn't desk jockey. Finally he said, I protect my people first. Mitchell nodded. I'm not fighting that. And if FBI touches the kid in a way I don't allow. Grimm tilted his head, voice low like a new storm forming. I treat you like them. Mitchell swallowed but held ground. Fair, she said. Then she extended her hand. You're good men in a bad world. Work with me. Grimm looked at that hand. The hand of law, of strangers, of the system he'd hated. But last night a child knocked on his door, and that system wasn't there to save her. He gripped Mitchell's hand, short, firm. I protect mine first. Mitchell nodded. Then let's protect her together. A reluctant alliance formed in the Houston storm, thin as a final thread, necessary as the last rope holding justice. The tension between Grimm and Agent Mitchell still hung thick in the air when Iron Saints decided to bail from the garage before full dark. Nobody knew where Knox had eyes, and Mitchell laid it out straight. If he's got inside HPD leaks, he knows y'all got hit last night. That meant the only safe spot was somewhere nobody'd guess. Old hideout in Pasadena, a sprawling warehouse once used for stashing bikes and quiet repairs. 20 minutes outside Houston, dead quiet at night. Grimm scooped Aaliyah into the club's lightly armored truck, Erica beside her wrapping a blanket tight. Ghost, Torque, Snake, Bulldog, and 3 more bikers flanked on Harleys. Mitchell followed, keeping distance. FBI ride running dark to stay invisible. When the convoy rolled into Pasadena, the warehouse sat silent, busted yellow lights spilling over the empty lot like a refugee camp yard. Grimm punched the old code, ushered everyone in. Aaliyah clutched her teddy to her chest, eyes glued to every shadow on the walls. "This my new home?" she whispered. "Just temporary," Erica said, setting her on a cot in the back room. "You're safe here." Grimm stood at the door, overhead light carving his face bronze statue hard. "I'm on watch tonight," he told her. "Nobody gets close." She nodded, big eyes still anxious but less terror than the first night. Grimm watched her drift off in the little room, heart beating slower, heavier. Tomorrow was war. Tonight, just get her through alive. 2 a.m. No warning sound. No distant engines. No sneaking shadows. Just a boom that rattled the whole metal door. Ghost bolted up first. Movement outside. Positions. Grimm barked short, snatching the shotgun from under the table. West side door shuttered hard. Screech of metal being cut with tools. Snake peered through a slit. They rolled in dark. 4, no, 5, armed. Halo's Reapers. Torque growled. Halo crosses cheap-ass goons. First shot cracked right after. Bullet punched through the metal door, sparking flash. Grimm shoved Erica into Aaliyah's room. "Lock it. Don't open till I call." Erica flipped the bolt, hugging Aaliyah as the kid sobbed in fear. The outer west door crashed down with a heavy clang. A masked figure charged in, rifle up. But before he could fire, Torque spun a lid pipe and smashed it straight into the guy's jaw. Crack like dry branch snapping. Thug dropped, rifle skidding. From behind him, 2 more burst in yelling, "Find the girl." Grimm's first shotgun blast pinned the left one to the floor. Ghost ghosted sideways, snaring the second, in a rear choke. Footsteps, shouts, metal clanging off walls, chaos everywhere. Another goon vaulted the workbench, knife out. Snake intercepted, took the stab on his forearm, then shoulder-checked the guy back into an oil drum. "We're Iron Saints. You think we're easy?" Snake roared. Reapers didn't stop. Outside, more boots circled, someone prying the generator room door. Bulldog yelled, "Backside. They're forcing the machine room." Grimm tossed the shotgun to Ghost and charged Bulldog's way. Last Reaper through the side door kicked it open. Bulldog buried a mechanic's hammer in his gut, folding him double. Grimm grabbed the collar, hoisted, slammed him into concrete. Guy groaned once, out cold. But as Grimm turned, a shadow leaped from a support pillar. Big bastard, jacked, spiked gloves. He didn't shoot, wanted it hand to hand. He snarled, "Knox wants the girl dead." He charged, fist like a sledgehammer, into Grimm's face. Blow staggered Grimm, half a step, blood in his mouth. But Grim Dalton wasn't the type to drop on the first hit. He rolled his neck, wiped the corner of his lip, stared the guy down like raw meat. "Say that again?" Richard grin twisted. "Knox's orders. Kill the kid. Gold tusks cleaning the mom's trail. We finish the daughter." Grim exploded like a lion off the chain. First punch crushed the bridge of the nose. Crunch. Guy swung wild. Grim ducked close, elbow to the temple. Ghost yelled while snagging rope. "Grim, keep him breathing. We need intel." 2 more bikers piled on. Torque kicked the knife away. Bulldog pinned the collar, bending him like warped steel. Finally the guy dropped to his knees, arms wrenched back. Ghost tying him with industrial rope. "Let go. Knox'll kill all y'all." He wheezed. "He's moving. Gold tusks already cleaning. They're wiping the whole damn story." Grim yanked his hair, forced eye contact. "Knox wants the kid dead 'cause she saw his face. Gold tusk erases the mom's trail." "That right?" Guy spat blood. "They'll hunt you too. Saints, FBI, don't matter. Orders are orders." Mitchell pushed through the back door amid the chaos. "Floor now," she ordered. Torque forced him down. Ghost held. Mitchell crouched, flashlight in his face. "Name?" "I ain't." Mitchell jammed her barrel to his forehead. "Name?" "Rigo. Rigo Cortez." He gasped. "Reaper unit." Grim stepped up, voice low like an engine in a tunnel. "Rigo, spell out Knox's orders." Rigo swallowed hard. "Sergeant Knox said the girl saw too much. That's it. No talks, no warnings, leave no witnesses." His exact words. Mitchell closed her eyes 1 second. Confirmation horror. An HPD sergeant ordered a 7-year-old executed, and Gold Tusk, the mom's killer, was tasked with cleanup. Rigo kept panting. "Gold Tusk's already hunting. Knows the kid got away. Checking every clinic, garage, warehouse in 5th Ward and out. He'll find her." Chill ran the room's spine. A kid with a teddy hunted like a felon. Grim stood silent, walked straight to Aaliyah's door. Erica cracked it. Aaliyah bolted out, wrapping his leg shaking. Uncle Grim, I heard guns. Grim lifted her, crushed her to his chest like shielding the world. It's okay. I'm here. Mitchell watched the outlaw society labeled cradling the child like gold and her eyes softened. Grim turned back, eyed Rigo Trust on the floor, then the crew. If they want the kid dead. He squeezed Aaliyah tighter. His eyes weren't defensive anymore. They were vengeance calculating.
He don't wait.
Mitchell asked, meaning. Grim spun, voice thunder waking. They hit tonight. Tomorrow we hit back. Ghost nodded. Instead of them hunting her, Torque clenched fists. We hunt them. Mitchell sighed. I can't let y'all assault without a plan. Grim cut her. You want Knox. I want Gold Tusk. Both want Aaliyah alive. Room went still, then Mitchell gave a small nod. Reluctant alliance turning real. Grim hugged Aaliyah closer, stared into Pasadena's night sky where distant sirens warned. They hit the hideout. Means they're desperate. He dropped his voice. Tomorrow Iron Saint stops playing defense. We attack, and end this goddamn night. Russia Goes spill in the Pasadena hideout crushed the last silence. That night nobody slept. Aaliyah dozed fitfully in Erica's arms. Grim sat against the wall beside her door, shotgun across his thighs, eyes never leaving the dark behind the curtain. Mitchell spread files on the metal table, white light glaring on Sergeant Bradley Knox, Gold Tusk, crossed halo logo. Knox won't stop, Mitchell said, breath tight. He owns half Fifth Ward. Gangs back him. HPD shields him. Gold Tusk's the weapon he uses to erase people. Torque slammed the table, rattled. Then tomorrow night we roll. Mitchell looked at Grim, multi-pronged. Clean, precise. I've got FBI on standby, but I need coordination. First time since she arrived her words carried real weight. Grim stood. You want to clean this city? So do we. Tomorrow night we do it both ways. And the plan was drawn. A stripped-down, brutal 17-point assault, written in rage, love, and a vow to shield one child. Prong 1 FBI raid Knox's underground HQ. Mitchell tapped an old Midtown office building on the map. Knox's spot for swapping doctored files and meeting underworld. He doesn't use HPD for personal. This abandoned office, cameras, private server. We hit before he wipes. Grim tilted his head. Y'all breach? Mitchell nodded. We've got warrants, but need someone to pull outer muscle away for a silent insert. Ghost smirked. We got that. Prong 2. Iron Saints hunt Gold Tusk at Greens Point Motel. Torque flicked a knife into the map. Dead on Greens Point Motel, where Dre said Gold Tusk scored girls, swapped rides, took jobs. He's here more than home. Bulldog added. No Knox cover. He's just a cornered animal. Grim. Tomorrow night we net him. Prong 3. Third team severs. Halo cross supply lines. Snake pointed to routes from 5th Ward to 3 cache weapon drops. Halo cross has stash houses. Old garage radio repair, warehouse. Hit 'em simultaneous. We cut comms. Mitchell nodded. Clean HPD's waiting signal. When y'all strike, we block dirty cop routes. Plan spiderwebbed. Every node a biker or agent. Night fell. 1 a.m. Convoy split 3 ways. Grim, Torque, Ghost. Bulldog roared for Greens Point Motel. Snake Hunter led the Halo supply raid in the industrial zone. Mitchell and feds headed midtown to cage Knox. Sky pressed like compressed stone. No moon, no wind, just Harley engines ripping the cold. Greens Point Motel. Gold Tusk Hunt Motel loomed dark. Empty pool, frosted windows, flickering sign. A shadow stepped from room 12, swagger familiar. Gelled hair, high collar hiding ink. Gold teeth flash. Gold Tusk, Grim whispered. Positions. Gold circled trash bins. Torque scaled second floor railing. Bulldog blocked the vehicle exit. Grim walked the courtyard like darkness claiming hell. Gold Tusk saw him. Grinned. Dalton. Voice slithered. Heard you took the kid. Grim silent. Gold Tusk descended steps. Head cocked. You know the rule. No witnesses. Grim flexed. Kid ain't a witness. She's a child. Gold Tusk laughed loud. In my line. Everything's a target. Grim inched forward. You ain't walking past this door today. Gold Tusk drew instantly, but Ghost spun from blind spot, kick to the wrist, gun clattered. Gold Tusk backpedaled, snarling, boot knife out. Torque vaulted the railing, knee to the ribs. Fight detonated like lightning. Gold Tusk fast, feral, slashing wild, but Iron Saints moved like a decade-old wolf pack. Bulldog slammed him into the wall. Ghost choked. Torque hammered the flank as they cuffed wrists. Engines roared behind the motel. A black sedan burst out, headlights blinding. Feds, Gold Tusk yelled, then slithered free like a greased weasel, kicked to Ghost's knee, elbow to Torque's gut. He vaulted the hood. Sedan peeled into the night. Grimm's fingers grazed his ankle, missed by inches. Ghost wheezed. Slippery bastard. Grimm ground teeth, voice chain on concrete. He'll surface again. Inside room 12, abandoned phone, and what turned Mitchell ghost white raw video of Aaliyah's mom's murder. Low sneaky angle, clear shot of Sergeant Knox, watching Gold Tusk execute the woman behind the laundromat. Faces sharp, orders audible. Second clip, text between Knox, Gold Tusk, erase the woman, erase the kid. No witnesses. Ghost whispered. Kid saw it all. Grimm crushed the phone like glass. Our part's done. Mitchell's turn. Midtown. Knox's underground HQ. FBI raid Mitchell, and special response. Rolled up to the pitch-black office. Door locked. Cameras rolling. Mitchell whispered. Knox wiped tracks, or he's working. Signal breach team. Popped flashbang. Crack. Feds flooded in. Inside room stuffed with doctored HPD files. Knox-coded folders. Missing persons. Scrubbed witnesses. Swapped evidence. Time-stamped cameras. Agent yelled, Mitchell, you gotta see this. On the monitor, Knox left an open messaging dashboard. He'd been tracking Mitchell's team via traffic cams. Knew her route. Knox bolted early. Left surveillance. Mitchell bit her lip. He's been watching us. Key file. OP Halo cleans. Knox's plan using Gold Tusk to erase all money laundering witnesses. List included. AALIYAH King. AALIYAH King. Final gut punch in Knox's room. A folder of kids funneled into foster care. No kin. Red notes witnessed violence. Knox had vanished dozens. Mitchell shook. God, how long? Feds pulled data. No Knox. Grimm. He's in the wind. Mitchell radioed. Knox ghosted. A industrial zone. Iron Saints sever Halo cross Snake and Hunter hit the Halo warehouse. Guards realized too late. Harleys stormed like predators. Fists, pipes, metal on metal in the dark. All ledger of Halo payers. Knox at the top. Video of Knox. Gold Tusk cash handoffs. 3-month hit routes. Snake exhaled. This ain't a gang. It's an organization. Hunter punched a crate. We end it. Bull 3 prongs reconverge 4 a.m. Everyone met at Iron Saint's old Galena Park rally point. Headlights cut fog. Mitchell stepped out. Handed Grimm the phone. Video of Knox watching Gold Tusk kill Aaliyah's mom replayed in dead silence. Grimm didn't breathe. Didn't blink. Didn't move. Just watched. Long. When it ended, he said, voice earth rumbling thunder. Tonight was defense. He looked up. Eyes twin sharpened blades. Starting tomorrow, we finish everything. Mitchell, Gold Tusk still loose. Grimm turned. Eyes glowing with the one light demon's fear. Hunter's will, not for long. Houston's sky weighed like rusted iron. When Grimm got the 3:17 a.m. ping, Gold Tusk spotted ship channel. Swapped rides, heading container yard. Anonymous source, but Grimm knew city's dark corners, sometimes sided with right. 1 minute later, Iron Saints Harleys thundered from Galena Park, engines drumming war into gray dawn. Mitchell's FBI ride, paralleled, eyes on East Houston waterway map, thousands of containers, steel cranes like high rises, dark tunnels, perfect hide for Gold Tusk, also perfect corner. At ship channel, massive cranes rose like monster spines in the night. Salt wind slapped faces. Sodium lights bled yellow on churning water. And there a black sedan tearing through the container lot. Gold Tusk. Grimm roared. Cut him off. Ghost and Torque split lanes. Bulldog charged lane 3. Mitchell radioed. No kill. We need him to testify. Grimm didn't answer. He knew they needed him alive. What he wanted was different. Chase ignited. Containers towered, echoing metal thunder. Sedan fish-tailed left, nearly clipped a pillar, then whipped down the dock ramp. Gold Tusk glanced back, eyes manic, gold teeth still flashing. Grimm gunned it. Harley leaped a curb, landed tailgate close. Gold Tusk jerked the wheel. Sedan spun near 180, smashed pallet wood, splinters everywhere. Torque blocked front, Ghost rear. Gold Tusk trapped. He kicked the door, burst out gun blazing. First shot ricocheted off a container. Sparks. Second aim dead at Grimm. But Grimm leaned instinct, dodged like he'd been ducking bullets since childhood. In a blink, he was face to face. Gold Tusk laughed insane. Dalton, right on time to die. He lunged, blade gleaming. But Grimm, no punch, no kick, just seized the wrist, twisted like breaking rebar. Dry snap. Gold Tusk screamed. Knife clattered. Grimm slammed him into the container, then unleashed. First punch, face. Second, jaw. Third, gut, folding him. The mom begged, Grim hissed through clenched teeth, and you laughed. Gold Tusk staggered, eyes glazing, blood spraying where a gold tooth chipped. No witnesses. He choked, echoing the laundromat alley. Grim hoisted him by the collar like trash. She's 7, you get that. He wheezed, Knox's orders. Before Grim could land another, Ghost grabbed his arm. Grim, he's gotta breathe, to end this. Grim dropped him, but his eyes still burned container hot. Gold Tusk collapsed. Gasping sirens wailed from the dock. Mitchell yelled over the radio, Knox incoming, mount up. A blacked-out HPD SUV tore into the container yard. Headlights ice white, no siren, meant dirty work. Knox. He stepped out in a rain slicker, gun leveled at Grim. Dalton, Knox said, calm enough to chill blood. Step aside, that one's mine. Grim advanced one step, shielding Gold Tusk. Your orders were to kill a mom and her kid. Knox smirked. That little girl wrecked 3 months of cleanup. I'm just fixing mistakes. Mitchell bolted from her ride, lining up a shot. Knox. Drop it. Knox barely glanced. Mitchell, go home. This is bigger than you. Grim never broke eye contact. You shot her mom. Now the kid too. Knox raised higher. I call it maintaining order. One kid can't stand in the way of my money pipeline. Or anyone else's. Grim roared, voice ripping metal. She's 7 years old. No more waiting. Knox fired. But the round didn't hit Grim. Mitchell dove. Shoved him aside, bullet grazing her arm. She rolled on the wet concrete, hissing pain. Knox re-aimed at Grim. This time Grim was ready. He charged, shoulder slammed Knox, gun flying. They grappled on sea-slick cement, feet sliding, fists hammering arms, teeth grinding like dry gears. Knox punched cop trained hard. Grim punched like a lifetime of pain in one swing. He grabbed Knox's head, smashed it against the container edge. Knox elbowed Grim's throat. They tumbled down the cargo ramp, crashing into railings. Grim popped up first, pinned Knox, collar and fist roared. She's 7, you son of a bitch. Knox hissed through teeth. I don't care about age. I care about risk. And Grim drove a fist into his face. Care that she's alive. Knox reeled back, nose bleeding. Mitchell staggered up, gun on him. Bradley Knox, you're under arrest for murder. Evidence tampering, federal corruption, and conspiracy to execute a child. Knox gave a bloody grin. You got no proof. Mitchell held up the phone, raw murder video looping. We got it all. Grim yanked Knox's collar, forced eye contact. She's 7, Grim said low as stone. You tried to erase a child. Knox went quiet. For the first time something flickered in his eyes. Maybe fear. Ghost. Torque. Bulldog formed an unbreakable wall behind Grim. Mitchell handed cuffs to Ghost. He snapped them on Knox like sealing Hell's Gate. Gold Tusk lay trussed on the ground, smile gone, head sagging like the game was over. Knox got dragged into the FBI ride, skull thunking the doorframe. Mitchell climbed in, clutching her arm, but eyes sharp. We ended half the mess. Now the hard part, getting the kid out of Texas safe. Grim stared into the black sky over Houston Ship Channel, salt mixing with burnt oil smell. He exhaled long, eyes no longer defensive. They were the eyes of a man who'd won the first battle, but a bigger war waited to get a 7-year-old somewhere the light could reach. 3 weeks after the Ship Channel chase, Texas sky still carried the gray of unhealed days, but inside Houston federal court the air crackled, pens scratching transcripts, agent boots, echoing on marble, reporters whispering in the grand hallway. Grim stood in the back, leather cut open, face carved stone. He didn't belong in suits and gavels, but he was here for Marcia King and her daughter. Mitchell entered the courtroom, arm still in a sling but stride steady. When she set the evidence stack on the prosecution table, lights hit her face like the case's full weight. The judge called for proof. Mitchell opened the laptop, projected the raw motel phone video. Gold Tusk's abandoned drop. Court went dead silent as the alley behind the laundromat flickered on screen. Marcia King on her knees, sobbing desperation. Sergeant Bradley Knox beside her. Cold. Do it. Then the gunshot. Some spectators cupped mouths to stifle gasps. Mitchell continued. Here are texts between Knox and Gold Tusk. Clear. Erase the woman. Erase the kid. No witnesses. The last 3 words enlarged on screen like a red blade. Knox sat in the box, cuffed, once arrogant face now ash. His lawyer tried cop shield objections, but Mitchell rolled out Exhibit 3, doctored HPD files. List of disappearances Knox scrubbed, 12 adults, 3 kids. Screen kept rolling, emails, altered duty logs, traffic cam of Knox meeting Gold Tusk the night Marcia died. Every piece dragged the court deeper into truth. No accident. No mistake. A corruption machine run by the city's supposed protectors. For the living witness segment, Mitchell glanced at the secure feed from a soft-lit side room. AALIYAH, identity shielded, with Erica and a female agent holding her hand. AALIYAH appeared blurred on screen, but her voice rang clear. "I saw the policeman without the name tag. He said, if Mama talked then he," she choked. Judge gentle. "It's okay, just what you remember." AALIYAH wiped eyes, deep breath. "I remember him. I remember his face, and him and the gold-teeth man, hurt my mama." Jurors looked down. Some wiped tears. Mitchell touched her heart, holding the kid's pain for her. When AALIYAH's clip ended, the courtroom sank into heavy silence. Nobody dared break. Prosecutor stood. Voice steel. "Your Honor, this witness is 7 years old, and today she did more than every adult in the system. She told the truth." Knox tried rising, mouth open. Agents forced him down. Trial dragged 4 more hours. Mitchell filing docs, Iron Saints supplying Halo stash intel, FBI parsing Gold Tusk's phone, forensics confirming Knox prints on the laundromat's smashed camera. Finally the judge rose, gavel cracking 3 times. Court held breath. "Bradley Knox. On overwhelming evidence, you are sentenced to life without parole for first-degree murder, conspiracy to murder a child, federal corruption, and obstruction." Knox's yell drowned by shuffling files and clanking irons. Judge continued. Co-conspirator Gold Tusk life. Involved crossed Halo members to federal trial. As Knox got hauled out, Mitchell and Grimm stood opposite sides of the gallery, but eyes met in the middle. No words enough said. They'd delivered Marcia King part of the justice she earned. Outside, press swarmed. Mics like steel forest. Agent Mitchell. FBI on a biker club cracking the case. Iron Saints roll. Mitchell at the podium. Slow breath. "Not all heroes wear badges." Camera shutters rained. She added, "Today a child is safe. A case thought unsolvable is broken. And let me be clear, these men," she glanced at Grimm and Saints down the hall, "did right when others turned away." Grimm looked down, unused to praise. But lower in the corridor, AALIYAH, face shielded by agents, peeked and gave Grimm a tiny wave. Small hand, but it stopped his whole world. Mitchell closed. Today justice for Marcia King. As federal court doors opened, Texas afternoon light poured straight onto 3 words the morning fought for justice. After Knox's sentencing, Houston shifted hues. Sky still gray, but no longer crushing the fighters for AALIYAH. 1 week post-trial, in a midtown CPS office, Grimm sat on a metal chair too small for his frame. Leather cut hung on the next seat, hair damp from rain. In the room, Mitchell, Erica, CPS rep. Miss Keller, smile soft as cotton, eyes sharper than steel. Mr. Dalton. Keller opened her laptop, professional but warm. "We reviewed everything. AALIYAH's mental state, new environment safety, and who she wants with." Grimm sat straighter, fists clenched on his knees. He'd faced gangs, guns, knives, death on stormy nights, but never this fear. Keller turned the screen. Video AALIYAH recorded this morning at support center. "You should see." Mitchell rested a hand on Grimm's shoulder, silent steady. Grimm hit play. AALIYAH's round face filled the frame, curls in 2 puffs, eyes bright under soft lights. She said, I don't want to go somewhere else. I want to stay with Uncle Grimm. Uncle Grimm doesn't let anyone hurt me." Pause. "Then I sleep next to Uncle Grimm's room every night. I know his boot sound. I know he's always there. I'm not scared anymore." She tilted her head, most confident. "If I gotta choose, I choose Uncle Grimm. 'Cause Uncle Grimm saved Mama in my heart." Clip ended. Grimm didn't blink, afraid the image would vanish. Keller slow. "As AALIYAH trusts you, completely." She slid a blue folder, pulled a form. "CPS grants you legal guardianship. Supervised first few months." Grimm opened his mouth. No words. Erica covered hers, holding back sobs. Mitchell smiled, first in weeks. Keller set the paper, offered pen. "If you accept responsibility." Grimm signed before she finished. Ink hit page, his heart squeezed. Not fear this time, but something he never dared dream. Someone his. Leaving CPS. As AALIYAH waited in the hall, she ran over, teddy in hand, eyes shining like pain never touched her. Grimm knelt. As AALIYAH hugged his neck tight, strawberry candy scent in her hair. Uncle Grim, I get to go home with you? Grim nodded, lips trembling. Yeah, home with me. Forever. She pressed forehead to his shoulder, whispered tiny, Daddy Grim. Grim froze, heart unlocked after years sealed. He crushed her closer, eyes burning, first tear dropping into her curls. Ghost and Torque stood back, usual hard faces, softened like someone doused their rage. Boss is crying for real, Torque whispered. Ghost elbowed him. Shut it. Let him. That night, Iron Saint's clubhouse turned construction zone. Bulldog hauled 2 cans pastel pink paint. Snake brought a suitcase of princess stickers. Walmart run. Hunter muscled a white wooden bed off the truck, grumbling, I'm too old for princess halls. Ghost strung star fairy lights around the window. Erica hung lace curtains. Mitchell arrived late with a small bookshelf and bilingual kids' books. They transformed the back empty room into something no biker ever pictured here, a princess palace. Aaliyah stood in the doorway, eyes huge, hand over mouth. This, for me? Voice tinkling, wind chime shaky. Grim behind her, hand light on her shoulder. If you like it. Aaliyah dashed in, circled the little bed, touched every sticker, every glowing star. She spun back to Grim, eyes holding something 100 battles couldn't match, pure love. Daddy Grim. I got a home. Grim swallowed hard, choke rising unstoppable. He scooped her, set her on the fresh bed. Yeah, this is your home. And I. He paused, corrected. And Daddy Grim's always here. Aaliyah beamed, arms around his neck. That moment Grim finally got it, protecting his instinct, but loving his choice, and he'd chosen. 1 year later, Houston had changed in ways only those who've weathered real storms could feel. The Iron Saints clubhouse was no longer just hammers, roaring engines, and oil stink. Now it echoed with laughter, kid drawings taped to the walls, and sometimes children's songs drifting from the princess room out back. Aaliyah, 8 now, stood in front of her little mirror every morning, tying her hair neat before school, purple backpack with a teddy face swinging behind her. She walked confident, eyes bright, steps light, like she owned her own path, no longer glancing over her shoulder for shadows. In the garage right under the big Iron Saints May sign, a new wooden plaque hung from the eaves. If you're in danger, knock. Aaliyah's idea, written in her careful kid handwriting. Grim said nothing when he saw it. Just rested his hand on her shoulder a long while, then gave a small smile. The smile of a man who knew a child once too scared to breathe had become a tiny light guiding others. Another rainy Houston night rolled in, almost identical to the one Aaliyah first knocked. Hard drops, distant thunder, wet brick smell. Grim was changing oil. Ghost checking lights, Torque tapping a cigarette on the table as rain hammered the tin roof like war drums. Aaliyah sat in the corner doing homework, pencil scratching soft. Then 3 small knocks. Not loud, not rushed, but heavy with a world collapsing behind the knocker. Grim straightened instantly, eyes sharpening on instinct. Torque frowned. This late, Ghost set the wrench down, stared at the door. Aaliyah stopped writing, heart racing. She knew that sound wasn't normal. Grim raised the garage door slow but sure, like opening his own past one more time. As it lifted, light spilled into the rain-soaked yard. And there a boy, maybe 6 or 7, soaked thin t-shirt, clutching a worn backpack, muddy shoes. Eyes red, he looked up at Grim, lips trembling, and spoke the words that tore the room open just like a year ago. They took my sister. No one in Iron Saints breathed loud. Wind whipped under the eaves, echoing that fateful night. Grim took a knee, but Aaliyah got there faster. She stood in front of the boy, eyes gentle yet strangely strong for 8. She held out her hand. You're safe now. The boy stared at that small hand like a lifeline in a storm. Aaliyah took his light but firm, this is family. Nobody's gonna hurt you here. Grim stood behind her, eyes softening. He saw himself folded into that moment. But this time he wasn't the lonely kid running through life's storm. He was the man blocking the storm. And the child he saved was now saving another. Erica stepped out, draped a blanket over the new boy's shoulders. Come inside, sweetie. You're safe. Mitchell, visiting that night to drop new custody papers for Grim to sign, stood quiet in the corner, watching a circle of kindness close then open again. Torque exhaled hard. Ghost flipped on brighter lights. Bulldog was already at the lockbox grabbing the first aid kit. No orders needed. No questions. No doubt. Grim shrugged on his cut, cinched his gloves. Rain pounded harder, but the Harleys fired up louder. The whole Iron Saints crew stepped out like the night's darkness itself was pushed back by their presence. Aaliyah stood by the door, the little boy behind her, And as the bikers twisted throttles in unison, engines roared like thunder, like a vow ripping through Texas rain. We ride for the ones who can't. Aaliyah watched the convoy vanish into the dark, hand in the boy's hand, her eyes no longer those of a child who once ran, but the eyes of hope, fade out. If you love stories full of heart and honor like this, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next ride. Stay with the channel to keep walking alongside the small but mighty souls standing strong in life's storms.